I'm going to go ahead and jump into our 2023 impact report. And so what we hope to do in this meeting is to inform you of the different programs and opportunities that are available and will become available for Black entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills, to cast the vision for us to all be on one accord on where the organization is heading, to ask for feedback from you all as far as different things that you want to see in the organization and ways that you can also give back to the organization. So many of you know that Black entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills, we are in our third year as an official organization. We do hold our 501c3 as a nonprofit organization. I want to share really what our vision is for the organization, and that is, in the Flint Hills of Kansas, we see a beacon for BIPOC, and that's Black, Indigenous, people of color entrepreneurs, where dreams metamorphosize into reality, barriers crumble, and opportunities bloom. The vision for Black entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills we're going to chart our 3-year path in this presentation. In essence, our vision for our Black entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills isn't merely about a physical locale, but spearheading a transformative cultural movement, one that champions BIPOC enterprises, reshapes the Flint Hills economically, and embodies hope and empowerment. So moving on, this is our 4-point plan for economic progress for the organization. Everything that we do as an organization is going to be guided by these 4 key pillars, if you will. And so the first pillar is we champion access to funding for BIPOC entrepreneurs through a mix of grants, loans, investment options, supplemented with hands-on technical assistance. And when we say hands-on technical assistance, some of you on the call tonight probably have experienced that, or you may have experienced that from the organization, or maybe you don't know that we now are offering hands-on technical assistance. So what that looks like is sitting down with you and helping you form your LLC. Some of you, we've sat down with you and helped guide you through that process in actually setting up your LLC. Or it might mean helping with marketing. It may be referring you and helping you with credit repair or accounting, legal services, those kind of really hands-on things that you need in your business, being able to not only just coach or consult you, but actually get hands-on with you and even be able to pay for, financially support you in those endeavors with your business. And so in tandem, we are also elevating the quality of life for Black, Indigenous, people of color here in the Flint Hills area. And so that's something to definitely underline, is that we want to improve the quality of life here for our people through our businesses. And so not only improve your businesses, but by improving your businesses, also improving and benefiting our community. And let me stop before I get too far, because I realized, Jermaine, you did not introduce yourself. So let me go ahead and definitely, I want to make sure to you have that opportunity, Mr. Glasper.
Hey everybody, I'm Jermaine, co-founder of SCG Media Collective and Black Entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills, and also working with my son Trey Glasper. And my why is just showing my kids something different that I never seen, and showing them that, even through the mistakes, you can still blossom and bloom. So, that's my why.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next point in our plan here is boosting the visibility for BIPOC businesses, and that's through targeted media campaigns, maybe videos, social media posts, sharing your posts, just helping you get the visibility through community partnerships, different types of events, and utilizing social media and strategic alliances for making maximum impact, and helping to give you that visibility in your businesses. Also, the third pillar here is delivering and partnering with culturally competent and relevant business resources and training that can cover anything from funding, access, bankability, financial literacy, to branding, legal support, government certifications. And the underline here is culturally competent. So that means that maybe you've actually attended some business training in the past, but when we say culturally competent, we mean that it's relevant to you, and understanding that there are challenges and barriers when it comes to being a Black entrepreneur. The statistics show that 8 out of 10 of our businesses will fail within 18 months. 8 out of 12 of Black-owned businesses will fail within 18 months. That's the statistics that we want to work on changing in our community, but we can't without the training, the resources to be available to you all. When we say culturally competent, it's recognizing that those barriers and odds are against us, but still understanding and knowing that you can still be successful in your business, but your resources might look a little bit different than resources of our white business counterparts, right? Our businesses are denied loans twice as often as white-owned firms. So what does that mean? That might look like credit repair, that might look like financial literacy programming and things like that, that can really help build up our community and to help you take your business to the next level, so that we are not simply surviving in our businesses, but thriving in our businesses. And so that's what we mean by culturally competent, that we're recognizing those barriers and being able to not look past them, but recognize them and address them as we're delivering the training and resources. And finally, driving those critical conversations around local diversity, equity, and inclusion challenges here in our local community, and discussing those actionable solutions when it comes to wealth and racial disparities. So I wanted to share also these by the numbers here with you all. And so here you'll see that we have been very busy this year in Black Entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills. In tonight's presentation, you're going to see a lot of some of the things that are happening behind the scenes that we want to share with you all. Right now, we're at 100 members. That number continues to kind of stay around the same place because we're a very transient community. So as people leave out of the Flint Hills, somebody new comes in. And so we really hope to increase that number of actual members of the organization. And of course, you can help us by recruiting other Black and Brown entrepreneurs that you meet that can come into the organization that might need the assistance and the community that we provide. So far, the organization, and this number needs to be updated. So far, we have raised $185,000 in the organization through a mix of grants, sponsorships, and donations from local area businesses, state foundations, national foundations. And so I'll share a little bit more with you on that, but the largest grant that our organization received was a $100,000 grant from the Kansas Health Foundation. And that grant really allowed us to sustain the organization this year, to be quite transparent, sustain the organization as far as being able to launch programming. You'll notice last year we did a lot around events, and this year we worked on getting our programming off of the ground. And programming really takes funding to be able to continue doing that work. I'm now working in Black Entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills full time as executive director. So being able to actually bring staff into the organization and grow that, being able to pay people like attorneys and accountants to manage the back end of Black Entrepreneurs to the Flint Hills, to make sure that we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's in those areas. And just being able to have space, like when we have events like the gala, like the pitch competitions and things like that. A lot of these dollars have gone back into our own businesses. So I believe, Jermaine, what was the tally on the amount that has gone back into Black businesses specifically?
60, a little bit over 63,000 this year.
So $63,000 have gone back into Black-owned businesses. this year off of the funding that has been granted to us. So it's very important that we're intentional about supporting our own when we have the opportunity to do so, whether it be through catering, whether it be through videography, photography, any type of services that we can patronize our members specifically. We do our best to do so when we're spending our dollars, even within the organization. And so far, we've been able to allocate $50,000 of that funding into access to capital through pitch competitions. We just had our equity in motion pitch competition that was 20,000. As well as we had our, Network Kansas hosted a pitch competition back in June that brought in 15,000 directly to our entrepreneurs, as well as 20,000 that was raised for Black and bankable technical assistance. Those that were in attendance received technical assistance grants around credit repair, accounting, and marketing services. So far, our members are at a $3.5 million economic impact. We hope to continue to see that number grow. And so that's why when we send out the surveys, it's so very important to fill those out, because we are making moves in the community. And when we go, we want to brag on our members. We want to show what our economic impact is, because that helps us with really being able to show that our businesses are viable businesses. They're not just hobbies, hookups, and hustles, as I would quote Dr. Donetta Watson with the Black Mastermind. Not just hobbies, hookups, or hustles, that we are viable businesses. And so another thing that the organization does is one-to-one business coaching and mentorship. So we hope to continue that programming and hope to deepen those mentorship relationships between mentees and mentors, as well as continue to expand our coaching capacity so that we can do more one-on-one coaching. As far as our racial equity and advancing racial equity in the Flint Hills, these are the three big, I would say, wins for the organization so far this year. Number one, the Elevate Community Microloan Fund and Empowerment Fund. So this fund is now at $1.2 million. That is coming from the city, as well as from some private donors, as well as Kansas State University and Network Kansas. We were able to piece those funds together to where we now have a micro loan fund that will not run your credit. We will not, you're not having to go through a bank. You go through a community board of directors that vote, and I sit on that board of directors. And so we advocated for this. We started this years ago, probably about 5 years ago, started advocating for this. And after many conversations with our city council, our mayor, the economic development directors, the chambers, and all the folks in the powers to be, we worked with them to get this developed. And so this fund is available to all entrepreneurs. So not specifically just entrepreneurs of color, but all entrepreneurs. And it's a $15,000 starter loan at a fixed low interest rate. I believe the interest rate right now is at 4%. So a fixed low interest rate, first time loan. And the goal is that businesses would be able to take this first time loan out, show that good, repayment history, and then we would be able to connect you to a bank to where after you pay that first 15K off, that you would be able to continue to grow and get access to that funding. So this funding, because it is city funded, the $1 million is going to sit in Riley County specifically. That wasn't good enough for me because I know we have members in Junction City. We are working with Junction City to try to get something similar created, but we had to first launch this in Manhattan, in Riley County, where the commissioners and the city and the chamber
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scratch you.
was accepting. I think somebody might need to mute. think somebody might need to mute. So let me see. I don't think I can mute. Okay. And so I think somebody might need to mute, y'all. Sorry. Okay. And so with this particular fund, again, it's a $15,000 starter loan. And there is an application process. This will be launching next month in November. So all of the training, everything that we've been working on, Black and Bankable, all the things, it's all leading up to this. And I want our businesses to be positioned well to not only be able to access this funding, but to pay this loan back and be able to access more capital so that your businesses can continue to grow. Because honestly, 15,000 is not a lot of money, but it is a great starter loan to really help you build on. And so we'll be working with the entrepreneurs to create with you all to be able to apply for these loans and walk you through that process. So I mentioned that the $1 million fund is through Riley County. And so Network Kansas actually came in and created the Empower Loan program, which is also running in Topeka, Shawnee County, Wyandotte County, Sedgwick County, and Douglas County. We did not have that here. And so we are launching the Empower Fund for Gary County. So if you live in Gary County and your business, so this has to do with where you're a resident, because I know some folks they're a resident in Manhattan, but might be doing business in Junction, vice versa. It all has to do with where your actual location of your business is. So that's where you can access the funding. And so for Junction City, right now we have $100,000 fund that will be available. It's 15,000 as well. It has pretty much the same similarities, but the one for Junction City is only for minority entrepreneurs. It's not for everybody. And then the Manhattan fund, the $1 million fund, we were able to earmark 15% of that fund to make sure that that money stays within minority business communities so that that funding doesn't just get ran through. And we hope to continue to see these funds grow, but it's very important for us to be diligent about repaying these funds back. And as an organization, we're here to be technical assistance partners and help you make sure that you can pay the funds back and it actually helps your business grow. So I wanted to stop there and kind of see what questions you all might have, because this is a pretty big deal. This is something that was not available before we began advocating for access to capital funding. We saw other communities across the state have these types of programs and funds, but we did not. And so I'm really proud that we were able to do this as a community, but I really want to hear what kind of questions you all have around this particular fund. And we will have more information. There'll be a landing page and some documentation launched in the beginning of next month. I'm on the board helping to get that pushed through and launched successfully. But yes, go ahead. And at this time, if you have questions about this fund, I would, be happy to answer.
I had a question. With these loans, are we able to get the loan which encompasses more than one business, whereas mine has the catering and the festival aspect, but those important pieces of equipment would work in both of them?
Yes, I think that should not be a problem. I mean, basically which you have to apply for the loan under one business. So if you purchase equipment and it serves a purpose in, other businesses, then I think that's fine. But you just have to make sure that, and there are requirements that the landing page will kind of outline, but yes, as long as you have to just apply under one business. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does, because the LLC is over all of the businesses, but I just wanted to make sure that it can encompass, two of the businesses. So if I apply underneath the LLC, that's fine from what you said. Thank you.
No problem. Anyone else have questions about the Empower and Elevate Fund?
So you said that with all the programs and stuff we have, that say I'm not quite ready to be able to pay that back, you guys have stuff that will help us to prepare us so that we'll, I don't know, have like, say you need to do more social media or something to make more money, like, or whatever you think will help us to, yeah, I just want to be able to pay the money back. So I'm just asking if there's a way.
Mhm. So when you apply for the loan, there's going to be, when you apply for the loan, there's going to be there are questions on there that ask, about your business revenue. It's going to ask about your business plan. The business plan does need to be submitted and things like that. Now, if you don't have the business plan, that's okay. We will send you to a technical assistance partner, whether it's us or SBDC or any other entrepreneurial support organization that can help assist you with that. And within that business plan, that's where we're going to need to we'll be looking at what's the feasibility of the business, because we want these dollars to help be seed money to help your business grow, not to hurt you. So really the goal of this is to be able to help you access the capital. But if you're not ready yet to access the capital, we will help you get ready to access it, if that makes sense. So you may apply and then it may be like, okay, no, it's not right now at this moment, but maybe in 3 to 4
and
months.
Sheila and Andrea, also with that fund, you don't have to apply for the whole 15. Say if you want 7,
Yes.
or 6,000 and make it a lower, visibility payment for yourself, you can also do that. And then build up to that 15, because it's an evolving fund. It just goes back into it,
And right now we're trying to see if this loan can be stacked up with other loans. So for example, Network Kansas has a multiplier loan that helps with women and minority-owned businesses. So say you get the full 15 and that's still not enough for what you need. Network Kansas does also provide a multiplier matching loan where they may be able to multiply the 15 to where that'll make 30. So that's an option. Right now, we're still navigating that. I'm advocating for it. But it's really a decision that's going to be made by Network Kansas on whether they will allow that. But in my eyes, I feel like if you can repay it and you can, stack up the different, loan, different loan products, then do what you need to do to access the capital that you need. So the business plan will be a part of this, and we will work with our members and people in our community that need help with getting those business plans together to be able to apply for the loan. Any other questions? We'll take one more question before we move on. And then always know that you can reach out to me or Jermaine about this. Okay, we'll keep it moving. So also another way that we've helped to advance racial equity in the Flint Hills is through the BIPOC pitch competitions. So I mentioned to you that just those pitch competitions, it was 35,000 in just the pitch competitions. One was for 20, the other one was for 15, and that was just in June and in September. So those dollars were funneled directly to BIPOC businesses, giving them capital access and spotlight, as well as the statewide Black and Bankable business intensive. And so we did host that. These are some photos from the event, and as you guys can see here, it was well attended. It was our first event that was statewide like this, and so we had Black and brown entrepreneurs from Junction City all the way to Manhattan, to Topeka, to Lawrence, to Kansas City. And so this was an all-day, one-day intensive. And actually one of our members, Marlon Watson, shot a video that I will share with you now. We have not released this video yet, but this will give you a little taste on how the event went. And hopefully in the future, we will continue doing Black and Bankable every year so that you can be in attendance for next year. But I'm going to go ahead and play this quick 2-minute video so you can see, get a feel for what happened at Black and Bankable this year and what we'll continue doing with this program.
From solopreneurship to becoming an employer? Are you going from a home-based business to commercial facilities? Are you going from the farmer's market to the retail shelves? Are you going from business to customer to business to business? This is not something that you're just going to do overnight. Becoming bankable takes time. That's what being a boss is about. It's important for you to consider how serious it is for you to figure this thing out, and you're not alone.
We have this notion that competitors are bad for us, but honestly, that's your peer group and you can learn from them.
You want to concentrate your effort on those that can actually impact your business.
You want to think about, how do I move past this stuck place of solopreneurship? And you will make lots of mistakes on the way. That's why it's important to make sure you have a network and capital. You want to stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. 8 out of 10 Black-owned businesses fail within the first 18 months. The unbanked and the underbanked rates are highest for Black adults. The disparities are there. The discrimination is there. It's very real. You've got to beat the odds. You've got to go the extra mile. You've got to educate yourself. You've got to access resources, not just financial capital, social capital. You've got to network. You've got to build bridges across cultures often.
Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but there's a lot of sacrifice. You may not see it on the surface level, but being able to be transparent, we really honor you all for doing that.
Lives aren't going to be changed because I'm here. Lives are going to be changed because you're here.
It's now time to show and prove, open up the coffers and make it happen. Know your worth, trust the vision.
Fear of growth, that's a sign that you have some work to do around growth mindset. How willing are you to step outside of your comfort zone and do things differently? These are basic questions that you should be asking. Do I have the creative autonomy that I want in my business? Am I building legacy and generational wealth? Am I building freedom for myself?
You have to show up for yourself and show up for your business, and y'all have done that today.
So I just wanted to share that so y'all could kind of get a vibe for what Black and Bankable is all about. It is a program that we started last year, and it was successful last year, so we brought it back again this year. Again, we had 100 Black and Brown entrepreneurs from across the state. We had some pretty heavy hitters there. The Collab Capital is a investment group out of Atlanta, Georgia. They have $100 million, I said $100 million fund for Black founders based in Atlanta. They specifically invest in Black founders, and they specifically invest in innovative businesses. So many of their businesses are like tech-based or tech-enabled businesses. So they came all the way from Atlanta. We flew them in. And they spoke on equity. They talked about the difference between equity and debt. They talked about how to get your business to the point where you can be invested in, what investors look for, what they look for in businesses. And so in addition to them, we had Makisha Booth, who is the head coach and CEO and founder of SistaBiz Global Network. And she led the curriculum for the day around Black and Bankable and accessing capital. We had banks represented there, as well as 2 entrepreneurs did a fireside chat, the Yahaya family down here, and they were denied by 12 banks when they first tried to get started. And they were able to get to the point where they could open their first location, even without a bank, and a prayer, I would say, on prayer, and lots of fundraising, innovative fundraising. They were able to open their first location, and now they are a $3.5 million business operating out of Olathe, Kansas. So they came and shared their testimony about how they overcame those barriers in their business to be able to grow a thriving business that now has 3 locations, 60 employees, 250 students. there in the Kansas City area, all Black, 100% Black owned. So it was a very inspirational day, and we want to continue growing these types of events and programming for the organization. And so wanted to share that. We will keep it moving here pretty quickly. So there are 2 programs that I want to share with you all that we will be launching next year. The first one is Commerce Uplift. So as you know, we do have several of our members that are currently selling their products in Hy-Vee right now. And so what we've learned through that process and helping those members get their products into Hy-Vee, it's definitely a process, and it depends on what type of product-based business you have. And so we were able to get another grant through the National League of Cities. We had our first grant this year, which was a $15,000 grant that allowed us to host the Black and Bankable event. And so that allowed us to have it again this year. For next year, we also were able to get that $15,000 loan, or I'm sorry, $15,000 grant. I kept saying loan for Empower, but the $15,000 grant this coming year is going to go towards us becoming Kauffman Fast Track certified. So we will, as an organization, get Kauffman Fast Track certified, and we will be able to launch our own cohorts where we will do our curriculum and training for entrepreneurs, and we're going to be able to run 2 different cohorts. The first one will be product-based businesses. Will run through that cohort. It's looking like it'll be a 12-week program. And at the end of that program, then we would be able to allocate technical assistance dollars and different ways for you to access capital through your business. And we are going to be having guest speakers. We're bringing in speakers like the IO Foods family. They're based in Chicago. They're a Black-owned business. You can find them in Target. They're in 5,000 stores nationwide. And we will have real life Black entrepreneurs speaking to how to build your business. In addition to the curriculum that we will be sharing, there will be actual real life entrepreneurs that will share, bringing in attorneys, bringing in accountants, marketing experts, etc., as well as accountability coaching will be included in the program. So we're really excited to be able to launch this program. It will launch in March of next year. And so we'll open up applications for people to apply, because we will have to cap the classes, because we need to be able to give you that one-on-one. And then the second program would be Empower Pro Service Provider Program. And so this will be for our service-based businesses. And so our service-based businesses will be able to apply for this, and it will be very similar to what we talked about with the product-based businesses, except it'd be on service. So your cohort will be with people that are like businesses. So that's why we decided to split them up into product-based, service-based, and again, very similar, except it's just kind of working with different structured types of businesses. So I'll continue moving forward, because I know we're past the hour here. The Black Joy program, many of you know about the Black Joy program. We did receive a grant from the Kansas Health Foundation for us to launch this program. Some of you may have attended the Black Joy is Healing panel discussion around mental health. We believe that mindset is everything as an entrepreneur. And if there are barriers to mindset, if there are traumas blocking the confidence and self-esteem that we need as entrepreneurs to be able to negotiate and to do the things we need to do and make the decisions we need to make in our businesses, we know that mental health is so very important. We're juggling a lot of different things. Entrepreneurs are actually one of the top careers or professions that people deal with a high level of anxiety and depression, believe it or not. So we want to make sure that we address the barriers as well when it comes to accessing mental health services. And so we have formed a committee.
Recording in progress.
Somebody might need to mute because it's echoing. So we have formed a committee of our members that are Black therapists and psychologists, And with the help of members like Tyshell and like Chaz Naley, I'll start naming all the names of the folks. But our therapists have helped us develop this program out to where now we will be launching it in December. And our members will be able to access therapy services at no cost. And so through the grant, we will be able to cover the first 3 therapy sessions if you go in network with one of our therapists. So this program, Jermaine, actually, if you want to go ahead and take it from here, this is your program. So we kind of speak to what that process is going to look like. We had to get paperwork passed through attorneys and do some things on the back end to make sure that, everything was in compliance for us to be able to launch it. But Jermaine, if you want to go ahead and just share what that's going to look like for the members, please.
So yeah, it's gonna the Black Joy program committee, we meet on Friday, and they'll be looking over the documents with us from an attorney. We met a young sister out of Kansas City named Clarissa Harvey that is wanting to build with us as an organization. She's the director of the business law school at Washburn. And what she wants to do with us is for free, they're going to build a program where all the attorney students will be able to help with legal documentation for all our members. So we're building with her. And like I said, with this program, it'll be a page on the website that's confidential. You'll go in, put in your information, and then we won't be able to see anything. And then you work out a relationship with one of the therapists, and then we'll send that voucher for those 3 sessions to that therapist. And then we're still building funds for that, so we'll be doing a pilot run. Hold on, Jeremiah, and I just hope we can build this thing and heal our communities, because we thrive a lot through survival mode. So I want us to be able to thrive. We got good talent, good products, good service. So once we tackle this what we have to deal with as Black people, I mean, as a community, we'll get back to what we're supposed to be. So that's what I believe. So we're going to build, pilot it out. We're going to learn from the mistakes. And we're going to take y'all feedback. Hold on, Jeremiah. And grow this thing and heal our community. You know what I mean? We're going to be an example. You know what I mean? I mean, you ought to take pride in that. You know what I mean? Because people are going to come and look at us and be like, how are y'all doing this? It's almost like Black Wall Street, it all comes together. So you should be excited to be a part of that, Yeah.
Thank you, Jermaine. And so there will be more information coming forth about the Black Joy program. But the Kansas Health Foundation is the sponsor that made this be possible for the organization to be able to offer these services. Tyshell, I know you're here on the call. Did you have anything that you wanted to share specifically? Because I know we modeled this as like what you would find as like an employee assistance program if you are working with an employee.
And a big thank you to the therapist and Tyshell for structuring this, because without her, we don't even know where to start. That's where all our expertise come into play, leaning on one another and being transparent with one another, so thank you to the therapist, and thank you to Tyshell for giving us this formula to build. So big thank you to y'all, no doubt.
Tyshell, did you want to share anything?
Yes. Basically, we had the opportunity, my practice did have the opportunity to start something like this with KSU's CARES office. And so they work with the students who are victims and survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. That's my background. That's kind of where I started at. And that's kind of a lot of the population that I serve, because that's kind of something else I advertise as far as a specialty. I've been working in that field for over 20 years. And so with KSU, they are funded by a grant. So the Violence Against Women Act, and every year that grant seems just diminish. I mean, unfortunately, even though it's a epidemic, the money is just not there. And so with that, they reached out to me and asked, would we be able to do a memorandum of understanding? Because what they were seeing was therapy is not cheap. And so with that being said, what they could provide per student dwindled very quickly. And it almost would only afford a student to have maybe like 1, 2, if 3 sessions with a therapist. And so the average treatment plan is 90 days. And so I was able to come up with a memorandum of understanding with that agency to where they said they can afford $600 per student. And so we took that, we would say $600, we would give 90 days worth of services. So we started there. And then when our Raleigh County Police Chief came on, I had opportunity to meet with him, and we kind of were talking. I had an intention of asking, but I didn't even have to ask. He brought it to me. And so we are now Raleigh County Police Department's First Line Responders EAP program as well. And that EAP, if you guys have it, you know, that does expand to family. So we're able to offer services to their family members as well, and they don't have to pay. So it kind of just takes that burden off of those individuals. And so we're their EAP as well. And so it's kind of like an EAP program. It's just another benefit.
Yeah, thank you for that, Tyshell. It's another member benefit that we'll be able to offer to Black entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills member, and really just be able to, like Jermaine said, healing our community, breaking down the stigma when it comes to therapy, that it's okay to go to therapy. I have a therapist. Jermaine has a therapist. We're very open about mental health. I think that if people were more open about mental health, you know, people could get more of the help that they need, instead of feeling, you know, shamed about it, or thinking that they could. And I love the church, you know, but you can't pray everything away. Sometimes you do need a professional to work with you and give you and provide you that safe space, right? And so there's a place for therapy, and you know, if any of our members feel that they need that they would have that provided to them, and kind of get that process started with one of our therapists, a therapist that looks like them as well. And so I'm not sure if Dr. Chaz is on this call.
Yeah, he had to get off.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Dr. Chaz is also involved, as well as other therapists in the organization, like Tyrone Townsend as well. And then Jardine Coleman, she works she's one of the directors at Pawnee Mental Health here in Manhattan. And she's also involved in this work. And so we're excited to roll this out as well. So that's another reason why we wanted to meet, so that everybody kind of knows some of the things that are rolling out. So thank you for bearing with me. We're almost through here. Y'all know about the directory. If you have not updated your directory listing, please send a message to me if that needs to be updated. Send an email over to engage@blackflinthills.com, and we will help, you know, get your listing updated. I did want to share that Black Entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills is making impact in the state of Kansas and beyond. And so here are just 3 articles that the organization has been featured in the past year. The Kauffman Foundation, we did receive a $25,000 grant from the Kauffman Foundation that did allow me to come on as executive director for the organization. The grant was specifically for a leader of a Black or Brown led entrepreneurial support organization. We were able to, and that is specifically what the grant is for, to build leadership capacity, because they know a lot of times our organizations are starting out of need. Specifically, we are the only entrepreneurial support organization outside of Kansas City that was brought into this inaugural leadership lab. So we are in a cohort with 12 other executive directors and presidents of entrepreneurial support organizations that serve Black and Brown communities specifically. And it's an honor to be a part of this. So I will be traveling to Kansas City to be a part of this. It's intensive leadership training, as well as capacity building, as well as kind of peer-to-peer networking. And I'm learning a lot about how some of these organizations are set up. Some of them are managing their own loan funds. One of them has a $500,000 loan fund that they're actually managing within their own organization, serving Hispanic entrepreneurs specifically. And so I'm learning from them on what that looks like, so that we can bring these kind of resources back to our community and to our organization. And so also the Kauffman Foundation ran an article about our organization saying that we're turning the rural entrepreneur stereotype on its head, because when people hear Black entrepreneurs, you definitely don't think of Raleigh in Geary County, Kansas. And so that was great. It's national publicity for the organization, highlighting our work, as well as the National League of Cities. And I believe Dr. Crystal was on this call. I'm not sure if she's still on, but the National League of Cities was.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Crystal. Dr. Crystal helped us to get this grant from the organization in the beginning of this year. And working with National League of Cities, we were in a cohort with 9 other cities across the nation that are also supporting Black entrepreneurs. And we learned from each other through that as well, and built that relationship to the point where National League of Cities actually featured our organization out of all of the cohorts that they have across the nation, and talked about how we're working to close the capital gap in the Flint Hills. So that was great for the organization to be featured in that way. And thank you, Dr. Crystal, for your work in helping us to obtain that grant. And so let's continue on. We're almost done here. So the gala is coming up again. So many of you that were in attendance of the gala this year, you all saw this photo here. You can see it's packed from wall to wall, front to back. We were at capacity. Several of our board members did not have a seat to sit down because all the seats were filled. So this coming year, we're going to have it at the Hilton Garden Inn. So we're going to have a lot more space. We're going to be in their junior ballroom, and it can fit 350 people. So the tickets will go on sale soon. Within the next 2 weeks, we're just getting all the back end set up to be able to accept payments for tickets, and to begin fundraising more for this event. This event is going to be something special. If you were at the first gala, our inaugural gala, you know that it was a special event. We're going to be bringing in keynotes as well as performers. We also are going to be giving the Circle of Community grants, and we're going to be recognizing different businesses. And so that leads me to my next point. These were our Circle of Community grantees for this year. There was a process, an application that they applied for. And then we had a community board that we put together to help to basically select off of those applications. And thank you, Mr. Lazone Graves, for serving on that. That, you know, we were able to put that together, and they then selected, they were tasked with selecting the award recipients here. And so we're going to go through that process again. So we will be putting out applications for the Circle of Community grants earlier this year. So it's going to come out next month in November. So be looking out for that so that you can apply. We're just getting all the specifics done. This year, it was for $1,500 grant that you received to pay for things you need for your business. So that's grants, meaning you don't have to pay it back. So something to definitely consider and prepare yourself for applying for. And so our goal is to be able to give more for next year. And this will be on Saturday, February 24th.
24th, yeah.
Yep. So we're going to keep it the same date every year. It'll be a signature event for the organization to raise funds and to recognize Black excellence, Black business, and just to really celebrate you all and celebrate the accomplishments of you in our community. So that's going to be Saturday, February 24th, 2024.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking to reach out to the event committee soon and getting that going. So we'll need your help on that. The good thing about the Hilton, they're going to do a lot of the setup, and then we're going to use Kiki events to do like the balloon mount and everything. But this time we got a dance floor, so we're gonna see who got real moves, and we got the space from 8 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. that day, so we'll have time to really have a good time. So it's gonna be
and so
exciting.
the actual gala will start in the evening, right? But we'll have the space. We ran into some interesting things with the Midwest Dream Car Collection when we hosted the gala this year. You might have seen us in, suits and gowns.
Sheila, we ain't got a whole lot of time.
I know.
Let
Let me continue. I'm sorry. Okay, so y'all already know about the grants. Y'all already know about the pitch competitions. So I'll continue just kind of moving on here. These were the judges for the pitch competition, as well as some of the winners for the pitch. And so we were really proud that this year was our first time including the Hispanic community in this particular pitch competition. And so it was definitely something special to see, our Black and Brown brothers and sisters working together. That's something that we want to continue to do in the organization. In different capacities. And so I do want to make sure that I'm clear that our focus of Black entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills will always be Black entrepreneurs. That's our name. And when it comes to expanding resources and access to resources for our organization, there are specific programs that will be open to the BIPOC community. We're not going to turn people away. We're not going to turn Hispanic businesses away if they come to us, and they apply for our programming. We're definitely not going to do that. But when it comes to our focus and our emphasis as an organization, it will always be on Black entrepreneurs. So I just wanted to make sure that I highlighted that, that you all heard that from me. And so with that, you can see our different winners. So I'll kind of go back here. Yummy Yummy was our first place winner, and she owns and operates a food truck here in Manhattan. And she will be opening up another food truck as well. That's with her plan. That was part of her pitch. The cake artist JC, Adisha Coleman, was our second prize winner with the cake artist JC. And then Products by Andrea, who's on the call tonight. She was our third place winner for Products by Andrea, as well as fourth place with Kiki's Events, and as well as fifth place with Cynthia's One Bite Delight food truck. And so I wanted to share that Miss Cynthia here, I don't know if Florence is on the call, but Florence shared with me that her mother sat and watched the pitch competition, and she said that she wished that she had resources like this when she was running her business years ago. And so that really hit home for me in showing really what we're doing with building generational wealth and making sustainable businesses and getting you guys connected to those resources needed. I'm almost through with it here. I am going to send this report to you all so that you can, look at things a little bit more closely if you'd like. This is just highlighting some of the advocacy work that the organization has done, just with some visuals here and showing, presenting to City Council. I present to City Council on behalf of the organization 3 times a year. It would be great if the next time we present, if we have some Black entrepreneurs in the audience. I do highlight you all and I talk about you all and your businesses. We also have been invited to different types of small business roundtables. This one down here was with Senator Roger Marshall. Here's another one with the Black Leadership Kansas Black Legislative Day, as well as Lieutenant Governor Tolan. And so we've met with him twice this year, talking about spreading access to capital with our Black entrepreneurs and resources to them across the state, what that looks like for the Department of Commerce to support our businesses more through supporting organizations like Black Entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills, and making that a priority when it comes to budgets. I know, Lazone, This is something that we've talked about extensively. And so Black Entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills is definitely getting in those rooms and representing you, and speaking on the different challenges and victories that our businesses, have experienced, and what the state of Kansas can do to support us better so that we can make a bigger economic impact. So that is that. And also, we went through strategic planning this year. We hired a consulting company based in Denver called the Makuyu Collective. Through that work, we were able to build out the strategic plan for the organization. And some of these programs that you're hearing about, we were able to really get in and refine those programs and what that looks like as an organization to truly launch those programs, what type of capacity we'll need to launch. And so we did a lot of work around strategic planning this year, as well as strategic partnerships. And so we were really focused this year to build better relationships with Kansas State University. And so this summer, our intern was Nigel McPherson, who's the Black Student Union president at K-State. We've been able to work with these students. We've also built relationships with K-State Athletics and K-State College of Business to now where Black students in those two areas will have their membership covered by the College of Business, as well as we're working with athletics to have the same. We've sat down with Black student athletes and helped them to build out and launch their businesses. Some of them we've helped to structure their LLC. Some of them we've just coached. Some of them we've helped look at NIL deals for them, help them understand the negotiation process behind NILs. And if you don't know NIL, that's basically where you can pay a student athlete to use their name and likeness and to promote your business. And so those are things that we'll be looking at, how the organization can support more of your businesses being able to leverage the name and likeness of Black student athletes, specifically at K-State, to help you grow your business, whether it's through campaigns, social media campaigns, in content. So that is that. And then we're at the end here. We are rolling out different levels of membership. And so you all are familiar with the business membership. Right now it's $55 a year. That number will be increasing next year due to all the programming and things that you saw, and what you'll be able to access as a member. We will be sending out more information about that. Then there's the student level, which we talked about that, and making a priority to let our students know that we're here as mentors to them, and also help them to get the experience they need as they're preparing for what's next for them. Community level membership. And so that is for community members who want to support the work that we're doing in our organization, as well as corporate level membership. And so the business membership will increase to $100 for next year. So that's less than $10 a month. And so we will also have scholarships for those who may need a scholarship to cover membership. And so we will send more information out about that. And you can kind of just see what the different levels are here for different levels of membership. And then finally, the last piece, and then I will be done, is this is our engagement map of how to engage with the organization. I mentioned a lot of different programs that we have in this call today, and I want to make sure that you guys kind of see what the structure is. And so our mission is to empower, equip, and engage Black entrepreneurs in our local community. And so you can see there's a kind of a hierarchy of how people will become engaged. So the first level is through events. And so a lot of you may have found out about Black entrepreneurs through an event. And those events provide networking opportunities, a safe space, community, and it also allows you a chance to support Black, Indigenous, people of color, businesses and vendors at those events. And so that's the first level. And then once you become more engaged as a member, we will then bring you through the data collection process, where we will that survey where we ask all the questions, so that we can have that information as we're advocating for your businesses. There will be an intro coaching session or navigation session where we'll talk about your business one-on-one, what resources you need, get you connected to mentors in the organizations as well as committees. And so we'll talk about the committees that are available, and then we'll move you over into the coaching session here section. And so if you require additional coaching, we will be having coaching around accounting, marketing, business formation specifically. Those sessions will be either in group or one-on-one. Tomorrow, actually, from 5 to 7 p.m., Makisha Booth, who led our Black and Bankable curriculum, will be available for group coaching. So if you have not signed up for that, definitely do take advantage of that. It's come and go. So if you have a question, you want to ask it, you can get that that group coaching tomorrow, and we'll continue doing more group coaching in the future. And then the next and final level is the empowerment level. So that's the cohorts that I talked to you guys about. So the product-based, the service-based cohorts. And so we'll take you through that process through the cohorts and help you really specifically through training, curriculum, relationships. And then in the middle here, we have the access to capital. So we really want to see our members being able to access capital, but we want to make sure that you're ready for accessing that capital. And so by coming through, whether it's coaching, whether it's the next level at the cohort level, through our training programs, we want to be able to make sure that we truly understand your businesses, we understand the pain points in your businesses, and understand how to get you connected to the resources that you need, which are in the middle here: the access to capital, the grants, pitch competitions, the community loan fund, bank referrals, and then technical assistance around credit repair, accounting, marketing, and legal. And then finally here, our committees. These are the 4 different committees that we have available for members to join, and we encourage you to join these committees. We will be in communication with you. For people who have already signed up for committees, thank you. You see that there's a lot of work in the organization. We can't do it alone. We need each other to continue to grow and progress the organization. And so there are 4 different types of committees. So it's the event planning committee, fundraising committee, entrepreneurial advocacy committee, and membership and recruitment committee. I will share links out to this so that you can apply or really sign up to be a committee member. And then with that, you'll have committee meetings that you'll attend. As you all work together to plan, there will be a member of our board of directors who will pair up with the committee as well, to be able to, provide the resources you need to, and set the priorities and agenda for the work that will be done in those committees. So with that, the upcoming events, I mentioned all of these things: the Christmas party, December 16th, the Circle of Community Grants opening up in November, and as well as the gala coming up on February 24th at the Hilton Garden Inn for next year. And so I really want to open up the floor for questions. I kind of went over all these things about what's next for Black entrepreneurs, the Flint Hills.
Sorry, Sheila, and I don't know if you mentioned about the organization joining the Black Harlan Chamber.
Yeah, so we joined the Heartland Black Chamber of Commerce as a nonprofit organization. They're based out of Kansas City, and they're actually the very first. They received a large grant, a 7-figure grant, along with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. They are building the very first Black and Hispanic Chamber of Commerce center in Kansas City. It's the first in the nation to be able to pull together those 2 chambers. And so we're learning from them as well. And we join their organization so that you all as members will have access to the resources provided by Heartland Black Chamber of Commerce. And they do a lot of advocacy work at the legislative level for the state And so we'll continue to give you all updates as that happens and as we get more information from them. Kim is the CEO and president of the Heartland Black Chamber. She came and did a member visit a couple months ago, and she went around to a few of the brick and mortar members that we have here in the organization, and we'll bring her back again to do more visits and as she share resources that's available to us. So these are all what's next for Black entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills. I mentioned all of this throughout the presentation tonight. So partnering with Hispanic businesses, there is a Hispanic business organization that's starting up that we are, I would say, serving as somewhat of mentors and helping them navigate and getting their organization started, because we do understand Hispanic businesses sometimes have different challenges than we do, depending on, you know, what type of challenge you're looking at. And but at the end of the day, we're all, you know, ethnic, you know, minorities, and working together to share those resources. And so that is part of what's next for Black entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills, is just expanding into a BIPOC lens as an organization, increasing our fundraising, increasing those retailer relationships. So right now we have a retailer relationship with Hy-Vee. We're building a relationship with Dollar General Corporation and their diverse supplier program, as well as other retailers, so that as our folks come through the retail cohort, product-based cohort, we will be able to connect them to an actual retailer that can carry their products as they expand their business. Okay, that was a lot. At this time, if there are any questions, please feel free to ask. I know that we're over, and I appreciate you all taking the time to really hear where the organization is heading. And definitely, that is why that program is being built, is to be able to allow people to reach out and get the help that's needed, as well as, you know, the mentoring type of program, I think, could be something like that, where it is it does allow for people to have more of that one-to-one relationship, as well as you know, definitely exploring what it looks like even within the cohorts, as people get into the cohorts, a smaller group as well, because there's a lot of us. There's 100 members, and being able to connect with people. I see people all the time, you know, working together, and I love seeing that. I see you all working together in the community, hosting events together, carrying each other's products in your store if you have a brick and mortar, working together. And so we do want to see, you know, our members working together and create an environment that allows you know, for you all to make those connections with each other and know, you know, that the support is there. So thank you. Does anybody else have anything else that they want to share, or a specific question that they have regarding any of the information we went over tonight?
Okay, thank you.
Don't have anything to share, don't have any questions, but like I always do, and I'm going to always do for you guys. Thank you for all of the work that you're doing for this organization and for all of us, each and every one of us. Sheila and Jermaine, you guys are motivation. You guys are inspiration. I am, you know, just thankful to be a part of this, to be a part of the family, to have you guys as support, have you guys having our backs the way that you do. So anything that you guys need from me, and I'm pretty sure any of us on here, you know, you got my number, you got my email, y'all know where I'm at. Reach out. I just want to say thank you for this tonight, updating. And I look forward to just, you know, making Black entrepreneurs of Flint Hills even bigger and even better. So appreciate you guys.
Thank you, bro. We appreciate you know, the shout outs. I mean, I know that many of you have helped with visibility for the organization as well. When you're in rooms and you're sharing about the organization, you're sharing about the resources that you were able to access through the organization, or connections that you were able to make through the organization. It's helpful to us because our name, I literally was on a call with a donor the other day, and he's in Seattle, Washington. and he was at a tech like entrepreneurial conference, and someone walked up to him and said, "Oh, you're from Kansas?" Because his foundation is here in Kansas. "Do you know Black entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills?" And he was all the way in Seattle. So to me, that's just showing the reach of the organization as well, and what we've been able to accomplish in a short amount of time is a lot. There's been a lot that's been accomplished in a short amount of time, and you all should feel proud, to be contribute to that work, because you all have contributed to the work, and we brag about you guys all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not just us, it's the whole body and community. All y'all talents and what y'all bring to this area is what makes this thing do what it do. It's not just us, it's all of us. And that's all I gotta say about it. And Policia, congratulations on your up and coming, I'm assuming, wedding. So congratulations on that. And we're gonna keep building and keep growing.
Dr.
Yeah.
Crystal put in the chat, "So grateful to hear BEFH continues to move forward in Black excellence. Indiana is talking about us." So thank you for that. Just continue to spread the word about the organization as we work to bring resources to you and to your businesses. Does anyone else have any other question or comment before we hop off?
No, Jermaine, I just found out yesterday my fiance is an entrepreneur. He stopped his business, I think during the pandemic, but he still has everything. So I was like, I didn't know. I mean, I knew, but I didn't know. So
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Cool.
trying
That's
to
what's
get
up.
started again. Yeah.
Family
good.
of entrepreneurs. So anyone else before we hop off?
Yes. Yeah, this is Lizone,
Mhm.
and I want to. I'm very proud of my goddaughter Sheila. I grew up in Manhattan, and what you are doing had never been done. And this is talking about from before the Brown decision was made. I was there in 1961, and my dad grew up here. I know the segregation that went on there, and I know the families of Manhattan. So it's I'm here in Topeka doing things where Sheila was born, and I'm glad that somebody is there in that city. There's I got roots in that city. There's rich white folks whose kids or grandkids there, and I brag on Trey. And so I want to thank you for what you did. You bought brother who came and did the photos of my dad before he passed away. That got nice acclaim. So I'm very proud of you for what you have done there in my city, in taking on the leadership role, speaking down at city halls, getting involved now. That is big and key. And so I'm 100% behind you and everybody on your whole crew, Jermaine, every member. There's some big things that's coming up, and I just look forward to working with you and the organization even further along. And anything that I can do to help your organization, individual members, you know how to get in contact with me. So I love you all.
Y'all make sure you get Trey's book. It is so cute. It's a perfect Christmas gift. So if you have little ones in your life, please get the book. It's an inspiration. The illustrations are great. Everything is great. I'm so proud of this young man. So if you guys don't have it yet, definitely have it on the way order.
Thank you. This is what happens when you get a bunch of entrepreneurs in the room. We're going to promote. So with that being said, one last time, anybody that has a question, a comment, I want to give you the space to be able to do so. You all know how to reach us. If you have specific questions, please. Oh, Jermaine, if you have that link for the cell phone text messaging sign up, if you want to drop that, but I should have did that earlier, but we are trying our best to communicate with everybody in the organization about what's going on, and we're growing, and it's hard to reach out to people individually to be able to remind people about the things that are going on. But the Facebook group does exist. But with Facebook, you're not going to get all the notifications in that group unless you turn all notifications on for the Facebook group. We do share a lot there, but we're trying to share more through text messaging because we know not everybody looks at emails. And so we do email things out. We do text the information out as well. If you're not signed up for the text messaging platform, please do sign up for that, because that will keep you informed, and it'll come right straight to your phone. So hopefully I can find that link here quickly. But I do want to let you all know that we're trying our best to make sure that we are communicating with everybody about
I think I got it.
upcoming things that are going on. Okay, yeah, I got it. Did you get it already?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm working on it.
I got it right here.
All right, drop it.
Okay, so if you're not signed up for text messages, we promise we will not spam you. We'll just let you know when events are coming up so that you can sign up and that you don't miss important things like the grant deadline coming up, pitch competitions, different types of access to capital that you need in your business, and of course, fun events that we do as well. So if you haven't yet, please do click that link that I just put in the chat, and sign up for text alerts. That way you'll be in the know of what's going on with the organization.
Yeah, like right now we got like 26 members signed up for text. So the more we get, the more we can make sure y'all get informed, because I know a lot of people not, we're not in those emails like that. So, them texts will help out.
Okay. All right. Anything else before we hop off? Minds are cleared. Okay. Hearts, minds are cleared. Thank you all for everything that you do in your businesses to represent Black entrepreneurs of the Flint Hills. Y'all are a representation of us. So as you strive in your businesses, just know that we're here cheerleading, cheering you on, and advocating for you every day, for you to continue to build generational wealth in your businesses and making positive impacts in our community. Thank you. And thank you for supporting us as we've gone through this journey, because it has not been easy. It has not been easy leading an organization like this that honestly, the powers to be do not want to see what we're doing. They don't want to see this unity. And I'm just being real with you guys, but there's power in unity. There's power in unity, and you can see working together what we've been able to build with bringing in almost $200,000 worth of funding into this organization, funding to keep the sustainability of this organization so we can carry that on into next year and continue to build the capacity of this organization. So I appreciate every single last one of you who took the time tonight to be on this call. I will be sending out a follow-up. Oh, thank you, Jessica, for the committee link. I will send that right now. If you haven't joined Black Entrepreneur of the Flint Hills Committee, I just dropped the link here. If you go to the website, it is also there under members, but I just dropped that link in here. Please do get involved with a committee. We need your help. And the more of us that pitch in and help, the less work that it is for everybody when we really divide and conquer that work. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Tyshell has a question. Go ahead, Tyshell.
Can you only be on one committee or?
No. I mean, I'm not going to stop you. If you want to be on multiple committees, you can. You can definitely get involved through the committees, and you can do more than one committee, because it's not going to be, some of the committees are going to be a little bit more active during different times, like with the gala. The events committee is going to be really rocking, really these next few months and helping to get the gala together. Then there may be, a time where it's a little bit null because we're not having as many events. So yeah, definitely feel free to sign up for multiple. Okay. All right, y'all. Have a blessed evening. Thank you again, and we'll be in touch.